Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my first episode of roster reviews. I don't know if I'm going to call it something yet, but I put a post out yesterday asking for volunteers to get the roster reviewed, and I got a ton of answers, so I have plenty to go with. I have over 75 accounts volunteer that I'm trying to keep track of in a spreadsheet, but I'm not going to be able to get to them all. However, the first one that replied was this player, PowerSW YT. They've been playing since June 2022, so 6 or 7 months. Haven't spent much at all, less than £5, so functionally free to play. And they are already at 1.47 million, 71 million. That is pretty good progress in my estimation. To me, I would consider like par to get 2 to 2.5 million in your first year or per year after that, and already off to a great start. More power and characters than ships, which is good. For ships, let me see what they got first. Just a quick look. Okay. But for characters, great setup. I think they have done a great job of balancing out the early game legendaries. So clearly a focus on Empire with Palpatine, Thrawn, and Vader in relics. I'm not sure. I don't know if I'd pick Thrawn up here with these guys. I mean, Vader's definitely a good choice for relics. Maybe would have gone to Boss to relic him, so Houndstooth is better over Thrawn or Palpatine. But they definitely are great for their arena team. And let me double check what their arena team was again. So they're using Palpatine, Vader, Thrawn, Mara Jade, and Piet. So that's actually a great early game arena team. When I was an early player in 2019, I was the last one in my shard in like the top 100 to be using Empire. Everyone else was using Jedi, but I was just forcing it and trying to make it work. So we got Geos, mostly all Gear 12. Yeah, all Gear 12 Geos. Got some great bounty hunters. I already have Chewbacca and Commander Luke Skywalker, so I mean, my free-to-play farming guide only just came out, but this is matched up almost exactly with what I'd recommended. They have all the characters, the legendaries unlocked up to except Giant Knight Revan, and then none after that. So this is actually in advance following exactly what I think is the right path. So that's just hats off to them for doing that. I can't see any waste here at all. Troopers are great, so they clearly have a good trooper team for Grand Arena as well as an Empire team. I think the next good Zeta to get is Veer Zeta. So I think that's what gives... Is that what gives... Yeah, like 50% turn meter when you kill an enemy. So definitely recommend getting that next. Tarkin's maybe a little bit over leveled, but I don't know if they're using Tarkin as a capital ship. So I'm going to look at ship soon. Yeah, Savage Repress Omicron, great choice. Way more accessible than Wampa, and he's basically a one-man team, so awesome choice there. I would recommend going for Jedi as your next team. Working on Jedi at Revan and farming Bastila. Let's see what they're working with. Okay, so actually no Old Republic characters worked on at all. Let's look at Jedi. Okay, so some Jedi. Definitely need a good leader there, so Bastila Shan is a great option. Even at 2 stars, just unlock her. For Grand Arena, it's going to be great. You might even want to throw a Zeta on there. Mace Windu, definitely a priority to work on. You could even do Qui-Gon and get his Omi as one of your next couple targets if you're focused on GAC, which they said they are focused on GAC and Conquest. And let me see. Sith. Okay. Not really any Old Republic focus yet. Bastila Shan Fallen is a great option to go for. And let me check Imperial Troopers once again. Okay, no Iden. So what I'd recommend is farming Iden Versio. If you haven't started farming... Okay, so you haven't started on a get to ship, so I recommend getting into a guild, if you're not already, that does Geonosis territory battle. So you can get that get to and work on Malevolence, and then farm the the pilot list ships for it, so Hyena Bomber and Vulture Droid, and you'll be in a great position. So probably using Chimera. So actually that makes more sense for the Relic 5 for him, which is good. And probably using TIE Fighter Hounds to, well, actually I can just check it off. I don't know, I'm trying to guess. I'm new to this, guys. Yeah, so TIE Advance, Home 1, and BabuFett. So you'll probably replace BabuFett in the starting lineup. I don't know with who. Maybe Imperial TIE Bomber? I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, I think you already have your Geos in a great position, so working on Malevolence should be your next target. And for characters, using Jellynet Revan. But anyway, I think that's all of the review for this account. I hope it was a good one, and let me know what you think about my recommendations for this player. Switching gears now, the second person to respond to my post was Hobnail, and they are a very large account, just a little bit smaller than mine, so 9.278 million. This is a mostly free-to-play player that started like a month after launch, so they've been playing the whole time. They have a GAC focus and a well-rounded approach to the game. They kind of like every game mode. So got the Executor, maybe not Profundity yet. We'll see. Running JMK and Arena, even though Arena isn't as important anymore at the top level. So looks like 5 Galactic Legends, missing Jabba and Lord Vader. That makes sense because Lord Vader is the most difficult one to get. And let me see. Okay, I got Skywalker, Piet, Radis, so he's up there. Let me just check to see if he has Profundity. Okay, no Profundity yet. Clearly working on it, which is great. Once Profundity came out, that became probably the top priority for endgame players. It's got a lot of the usual suspects. I'm actually going to look at the bottom of his roster to see what he's missing. Okay, so I got the Dr. Afra character is a little weaker. And looks like okay, Kieti Moody, that's a gap. So I guess he wasn't in I guess Hobnail has not been in a guild that is proficient at Lightside GOTB for a while. Or maybe they're just starting to get running, and so he doesn't have his Kieti Moody going. If you've been in the same guild forever, I mean, stick it out. If not, probably go for another guild. And what else is missing here? Working on Inquisitorius, or at least not finished with them. I definitely recommend doing that. That'll help you get into a guild that's doing Rise of the Empire TB. If you want to do that before or after you finish Cam, it's up to you. What else is missing here? Sortie, great character. Recommend finishing that farm, at least slow farming it. Maybe they're working on, I don't know if they're working on Java based on this Mob Enforcer in Java, but got some Gear 12s that wouldn't make total sense otherwise. Let's go by faction. So for Rebels, let's see how close they are to getting Profundity. Okay, none of these are required. I'd say they're getting pretty close to Profundity based on this. And otherwise, this is a full Rebel roster, so looking good there. Jedi. Let's go down. Yeah, I mean, this is a great roster so far. I don't see many holes I'm looking for. Bad Batch. Okay, so Bad Batch is getting close. So for Lord Vader, definitely probably one of their focuses, although it's really hard splitting your attention between Profundity and Galactic Legends, and there's so much stuff to do. So if you're not on top of everything right as it comes out, it does take a while. But Bad Batch, definitely worth giving some relics to unlock Lord Vader. Let's look at Sith. Okay, Darth Vader, Darth Malak. Malgus, great. All 3 Omicrons. Relic 7. Malgus is a Relic 9 priority if you give any out. But considering I don't think he has even Jedi Master Luke at R9, so that would be a priority over Malgus. Savage Omi is missing, or not there. Definitely recommended if you're focused on GAC. Yes, a great Sith faction. Otherwise, I'm not really going to be picky on like relics or anything because, you know, people don't have infinite resources. Okay, Galactic Republic. It's looking good. Yeah. Don't have really many complaints here. Like, Cat's fine, R7, General Skywalker. I have him R8, but, you know, R7's still good. Yeah. I would probably get Mace to R5 so you can use them with Datacrons. I'll look at the Datacrons in a second. Yeah, no, this is a really well-rounded roster. Obviously, there's a lot of new stuff that you can't chase all at once. So I'd say Profundity first, then Lord Vader, then go for, what is it? Inquisitors, maybe? I'm not sure. But yeah, some of these like dregs at the bottom, there's no point working on them. I have these ships week 2. I mean, Gauntlet's a good ship, but I don't think it's worth leveling up these two just for that. Yeah, good ships. Phoenix, when you get gear piling up below gear 12, I think those ships are worth donating some gear to, just to make them better once you have Profundity. And as far as Datacrons, let's see. Lots of Datacrons. Plenty of Datacrons. I think he's got a good approach so far, is level a bunch up to level 3. And at that point, you see what... you pick the ones that have the good abilities, and then you devote a little bit more resources to leveling them up. So this is actually pretty efficient for set 5. I don't think many of the level 9s are worth it, but this one, getting a Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, is pretty much a no-brainer. Got some health, armor, crit damage, potency. I'd probably re-roll the potency if you have any re-roll mats for it. Maybe you used everything trying to get the Kylo Ren level 9. But considering there were no other set 5 at level 9, nothing else to re-roll. Set 6, just my opinion on Datacrons, level 8 is the most efficient one. So he doesn't have Grand Inquisitor. I don't think the other level 9 characters are worth forcing to R7 just to get that ability. So I think this is great. Don't even bother taking anything to level 9. Don't re-roll. Just keep as is. And pick your best abilities. Actually, maybe the locked ones are the good abilities. Yeah, so we got the tank revive. So level up some of the tank revives and the turn meter gains. Those are your next priority. Maybe it's just the tank ones he has locked. Yeah, he's got a lot of tank revives. But yeah, these, I think you have a great approach to Datacrons. Just take advantage of this next conquest and get a few more up to level 8. The natural stopping points are level 3, 5, and level 8. So overall, great roster. I'm impressed, Hobnail, and I'm sure you're gonna catch up on a lot of other new stuff eventually. Next roster, we're gonna review HugeOrangutan. I picked it out because they said they're the only one that responded and said they were a whale that I've seen so far. There's others I haven't looked at, but they got 3.5 million. Very focused. Started in December of 2021, so just over a year in the game and already at 3.5 million, and in Rhodium 2. That's very impressive for that level. Got Executor already. It's a great no profundity, which isn't surprising. Great setup. So ships are most important. That's what I recommend getting before Galactic Legends. If you are willing to spend, you can obviously focus and get a couple Galactic Legends as well. So we're in Supreme Leader Kylo. What's on this Datacron? This is all the best ones. Great armor, great crit damage, the offense stacking. And then let's check the inventory. So he's got Sith Eternal Emperor and Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, and there's something that really stands out to me right away when I look at this account, and that's the lack of blue. It's pretty much all red except Bam for ships, Anakin for ships probably, Dash, I don't know, he's probably working on Star Killer. That's probably what, if I had to guess, because he's got R5 Talon and I think R5 Mara Jade. Yeah, R5 Mara Jade. So definitely working on Star Killer. He said they're GAC focused, so that's clear from the results of 3.5 million and getting to a Rhodium 2. Really strong roster. A little surprised on R9 for Sith Eternal, but I guess 200,000 health. I mean, that's very well modded. Not a ton of speed. I personally like doing more speed and then health as the secondary focus on my Sith Eternal, but some smart people say you only want health. I probably would have put Pieta R9 over Sith Eternal Emperor if I only had one to do from this. Check his mods. Premier Kylo Ren, speed build. Some decent health. Good damage. Yeah, damage. Okay. That's pretty well modded. Yeah, but next... excuse me. Next thing I'd work on is some light side teams. Probably starting with Jedi or Rebels. Maybe Rebels because they can do a little bit more at the lower gear. Yeah, so he hasn't even gone out of his way to get CLS, but he's pretty close. I mean, old Ben is almost at 7 stars. Han, Farm Boy Luke, Leia, R2. Okay, so that's the last piece of the puzzle. Definitely just pick him up and just work on Han, him, Chewie. If you're just GAC focused, you could just get those 3 probably to like 11 or 12, and maybe you can undersize some teams at your level. I don't know. Let's check Jedi. This guy is like a Sith Lord. He's been completely seduced by the dark side. Yeah, not much to speak of for Jedi, but I would recommend getting Giant Revan at some point because it's an easy farm. I mean, Bastila, there's no Jolie in sight here. But with accelerated drops, definitely find some time to focus on that. And then, yeah, like no Old Republic. Mission and Zalbar are on the same node, so that's worth working on too. Let me just check Imperial Troopers. Okay, you got a great Imperial Trooper team set up. Just the main one. Iden, low gear, but that still works just fine. I'm sure that's getting some good work in for you in GAC. And how much of his Sith is not relics? Just 2. At least 2 that I see. I mean, the ones that aren't unlocked at all aren't going to show up for me. So Lord Vader's obviously not here. I can't think of everything right now. But yeah, great Sith faction. Savage Omi, it's great. What else am I going to look at? Geonosian, Got some good Geos. Yeah, I mean, that's probably, for like the GP you're at, that's probably the appropriate investment to put into them. Separatists, not much other than them. Dooku for the unlock. Jango Fett's great. Let me look at Bounty Hunters. Yeah, I mean, this is a good basic team, and those are the ones you need for Executor, so probably work towards replacing Cad Bane and IG-88 for any lineup. It looks like he's doing that. He's got Mando and Grief, which they're actually, if you can keep them alive, they're functionally fine at Gear 11, because Grief is just support. He's not doing damage, and he stealths, so he can be somewhat safe. Mando isn't a damage dealer. He's just the Annihilator, and he gives Terminator to the team. So, and Zamo, this is quite an effective setup. Like, there's not much to criticize for like the amount of time in game and no bad batch, and what has been devoted to it. I think this is a very, very good account and setup. Obviously missing a lot of light side, but I would get to that eventually, I think. Oh, I forgot to see what does he. Okay, we're gonna want. I think JMK should be the next focus. Even though it might take a while to get Cat, because if you are whaling, you want to whale on Cat. Like, that's probably the next best target. He might be doing that since Django's gear 12. Maybe he's prepping for that. Sith Empire. Nothing to speak of. I mean, I think Sith Empire is amazing. I would have gone for that a little sooner because even though, yeah, you got some Galactic Legends, Sith Empire is, it's decent at lower gear if you're using it on offense. So maybe just get them to like gear 11 at some point. Yeah, no, this is a great roster. Not much to criticize. I wouldn't go for Profundity for a while. Executor can make it work on its own for a good long while. Just try to get some more Galactic Legends, or if you don't want another Galactic Legend, round out with some good light side teams like Rebels and Jedi. I just wanted to take a look at HugeOrangutan's Datacrons, and pretty good setup. I mean, just a couple. Like, the roster isn't deep enough to make use of a ton, but he has gone out and got a few that he can use. Supreme Leader Kylo. Probably was trying to get Supreme Leader Kylo with this one, and it just didn't work out. But yeah, I think this is a good setup. You can't make too much use of it. Tank Revive was a great one. Turn Meter, great one. And yeah, okay. Well, I mean, I don't know. If you can't make use of this with bounty hunters or something, I might re-roll that one. But yeah, no, that's great. You got a great setup even with the Datacrons. Next player looking at is BabuFett. They've been playing since December 2019, so just over 3 years in game. Got 5.9 million galactic power. Focus on Grand Arena, Conquest, and the new territory battle. And also, they are a non-spender except for the Conquest Pass, which is a great use of, if you're going to spend, that's a great use of it in the game. Caliber 3, pretty impressive for 5.9 billion GP. I bet the majority of players you face are much bigger, and you got an uphill battle. But it looks like you got great ships. You got Scythe already, R7 Inquisitors, so that is definitely very marketable to a larger guild. I know Profundity, but that's, I mean, I don't know. That might be fine. One Galactic Legend at 5.9 million. Probably merits focusing on that. I mean, hopefully, Inquisitors alone will get you into a bigger guild to, if you're not already. I mean, R5 second sister. So, not R7 yet. So not completely Reaver ready, but that should make you marketable to a bigger guild. But you also need to balance out with the Galactic Legends. Let me see how deep this roster is. Yeah, okay. I mean, it's pretty good, pretty deep. Doesn't care about resistance, so not close there. Okay, yeah, a lot of newer stuff not here. Resistance. First Order, probably not a priority. Let me just check First Order. Okay, yeah, so probably don't go for Supreme Leader Kylo Ren next. Rebel. Okay. If I had to say, it looks like he's already going for Jedi Master Luke. He's got 3PO and Chewie, Lando's up, Rolo's up. That's for Jedi Knight Luke. Mon Mothma is 7 stars. Did I miss it? Do they have JKL already? Yeah, I already have JKL, so I definitely recommend going for Jedi Master Luke next if you're not already doing it. Jabba's even an option. Let me see. Yeah, Jabba's an option, which that might be what you're doing actually. Now that I look at R Singh's up, Greedo's up, farming the Marquise. So if I had to guess, I'd say you're going for Jabba, but then after Jabba, I get JML. Definitely. But otherwise, great Jedi faction. That's why you're primed for JML. It'll be a great addition and wouldn't be too far away. I'd check. I don't know how you plan which Galactic Legend to go for, but going to swigga.gg and just checking your Galactic Legends gear required, which also shows the relic requirements, is a great way to determine what's the path of least resistance at the current spot you're at. I'm sure you know what you're doing, though. You've been playing for a long time, for a good bit, 3 years, so you probably have your plan in place. Let me check Sith. Okay, so Sith Empire mainly and Darth Vader. Trey Omicron. Doesn't seem like there's a hurry to get Sith Eternal, which is fine. He's easy to get, but I don't think it's worth dropping everything to get him. Only if you're like really close, or it'd be easy for you. Star Killer, probably an afterthought at this point. And what else? Empire, so we can see Imperial Troopers and stuff. Okay. Well, that's not good because that's showing Sith Empire too. I actually need to click the faction. Okay, so Inquisitors, some Imperial Troopers. I didn't. Okay, got the Omicron already. I'm sure the low gear can do something. And Kyber 3, it's probably pushing, making use of a low gear item, but I don't know. It might be pretty useful for you. Inquisitors are good. I probably wouldn't have gone so hard on them this early because they are very resource intensive. To me, it's pretty much just as easy to get a Galactic Legend as it is to get Grand Inquisitor. I went for him because I had all of them except Jabba, and I started before Jabba was announced, so I don't know. I only just finished my Inquisitors to R7, so I hope that works out for you. I probably wouldn't have gone for it. Yeah, your troopers look in good shape. And what other faction I want to look at? Okay, let's see Separatists. Okay, pretty good GOs. And GG helps for ships, because you want to have a balanced setup. Okay, so well negotiator and malevolence, so got everything you need there. Scythe, of course. Trying to think what else I want to look at. No, I don't want to look at anything there. You got the Revens, so that's great. Yeah, I mean, for you at this kind of mid-endgame, almost endgame account, it's about adding Galactic Legend. Well, definitely mid-game, but it's progressed mid-game that you are. Going for Galactic Legends, Java, then JML, then probably Sith Eternal, actually, because I think you're closer to that. Then Kylo, Rey, and Lord Vader last, and then it would be just a judgment call at that point. Let's check out the Datacrons. A bunch of level 9s here. So I think you're actually taking an inefficient approach to Datacrons, or at least you did in set 5. Because with set 5, none of the, like, okay, Greedo, Sith Trooper, they're not, you don't have them R7. They're not advisable to get to R7. Maybe you were just trying to get the Supreme Lord Kylo Ren, but it's way more efficient to use those extra resources that go from level 8 to 9 and use them bringing up more Datacrons to level 8, because the stats are the main thing with both of these sets, with set 5 and set 6. Set 6, you can make use of Grand Inquisitor 1, and then Ninth Sister, if you're in 3v3, you can use both. So those are decent. And I think maybe you've got the better idea with set 6 is getting a lot to level 5 and level 6. To me, the natural stopping points are level 3, level 5, and level 8. So, yeah, you can work on that, and also leveling a bunch up at the beginning to level 3 to see which ones are better and the best candidates to take up to those higher levels. That might be one thing I'd change. But yeah, that's all I got to say about your account. This is a pretty good account. Just get some more Galactic Legends. That should be your next priority. Anyway, that's it for this first round of roster reviews. Really enjoyed doing it. Thanks to everyone that reached out, and it's already getting kind of long. I don't know if I'm talking too much about each roster or if I should do fewer, but thanks for watching. See you next time. Let me know what you think.